What's good, family? Hope everyone's having a blessed Saturday morning. This is another installment of the Black Man's Perspective, and of course, I have my brothers, my family on the panel. 78 Sports TV, how you doing, brother?
Doing wonderful, brothers. Peace to the family. Everybody who tuning in. Peace to my brothers on the panel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my other brother, Coach 67 Sports TV, was good, man.
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. Salute to y'all, brother. Salute to the general. Salute to my brother Jared 11 Green. Salute to the entire LDBC family and everybody coming through the rock with us on this blessed morning, you dig?
All right, all right. Yeah, we're gonna talk about basically restoring the Black nuclear family, and we're gonna have some context uh, um, from therapist Jeff St. James. He has a channel called Ask a Brother Podcast on YouTube, and he has some interesting points that I just wanted to share, and we're gonna eat off of, um, and to see if he's this brother is legit or he's just trying to be another Kevin Samuel. But give me one moment, I'm gonna cue it up.
And while you queuing it up, bro, just to kind of give people context, like Jeff St. James is a therapist, and like he had his first like viral moment like a year ago today, and his channel took off. He got like 15,000 subscribers in like a month. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's hot right now. So fair use YouTube. This is from the Lapif channel. So just want to share this. Let me know if y'all hear it.
Stuff because they don't have nothing. Like it never had nothing to do with me. It never had anything to do with black.
Let me go back a little bit.
And see, I'd love to hear about that because I reject all of that feminist stuff because they don't have nothing. Like it never had nothing to do with me. It never had anything to do with black women. And so that's why I get mad when men call me a feminist because I'm like, I'm a woman. I don't know, like I don't know what to tell you. Because I don't know anything about that. Nothing. I've never listened. I've never researched because I didn't care. My mom told me what that was about because my mother came up in that time. She was the generation that started. Well, she wasn't the generation that started the civil rights movement. She was a little young, but she was a part of the civil rights movement and she knew the history of the women's suffrage movement. And she was like, that don't have nothing to do with you. So black women were not raised up in feminism. We were raised up to survive as black people. And I think that that's I don't know if it looks like it. I don't know because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it.
I think he's thinking that the way we're moving is kind of like whether we know where it's coming from or not. It's just the move that is coming from. That's where it originated.
Oblivious.
I think that it mirrors it, and I can give you that. But we are not being intentionally taught these things.
When black women sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, Bo.
Black women, me in particular, I'm sorry. I was raised to be more than my looks. I was raised to not have to depend on a man because of how, because of how, I'm saying, but okay. Laying it out, don't you like that is a little harmful in the economy that we're in because most men can't support one household, but also my mother knew what depending financially on a man looked like because of the generation that she came from. If I'm being honest, those powers were abused back then. And so you can't fault our parents for looking forward and being like, I don't want you to be like my mother in my generation. And so she just taught me how to survive by myself because it's a reality for a lot of people. And I don't want to go through all of the reasons and all of the things because it's a rabbit hole if I'm getting into that. But this is not a you don't need a man. She was just preparing me.
If she would have prepared you to be a wife,
you not have one though.
That's what I'm saying.
If she would have prepared you, if she would have paired you with the qualities of a wife based on the market selection, optimized for the selection, you think they would have been a different outcome?
No.
You think survival would have been in terms of I get selected by a suitable partner that has the leadership quality and the capacity economically to be able to care for me.
But that's unrealistic.
That be looked at as survivability.
That's unrealistic. When
you realize that's been happening for centuries before.
When you are raising your daughters in 2025,
it's not true.
This is where we are. And so I was born in 80. And at that point, the country was going downhill rapidly, economically. And so my mother teaching me how to select a partner that can take care of me and lead, that is a crapshoot.
No,
because
what I meant was
optimize
yourself for selection, not select. I'm saying if she looked, because we can argue that most mothers are not looking at the market when they're raising their daughters. Can we at least agree to that?
I don't think that as Black people, we can afford to do that to our kids. Because the average earning potential of a Black person in general.
Yeah. So Bo, just to clarify, because I know I don't want to hold everybody up tonight. As a key core example of what you kind of espoused, much of it was feminist talking points and rationale and logic and deductive reasoning. And as an example of you're looking at it through the lens of survivability, the feminist primary perspective was to reduce the role and influence and importance of a man in a woman's life by default. By default. What another way of saying that is feminism is teaching women and has been teaching women about what it means to be autonomous completely from men. So as a child, when you're being taught about how to survive strictly through the lens of through you and through your hands, and not how these Asian and white women today are still being taught, even when going to college, to still prioritize and value not only getting that degree and being able to make and sustain yourself in terms of income, and always have ability to have a backup plan if things don't work out. The other part that feminism hides and shields certain women from is the other part. Unless you're planning on doing this for the next 60 years of your life alone, you also, at the time period when you're your most fertile, you're in your youth, when you're of a certain weight and aren't as jaded because you don't have as many negative experience with men, that's also the time period when you should be also equally prioritizing a partner. So in school, these women, I watched them. They looked at the majors of certain students, men, and they would go to the certain majors and hang out by those doors, the classroom doors. And when those male students, the male engineer student, the doctor, the student doctor, all these guys that haven't made the money yet, they got him freshman year, sophomore year. She's still getting her degree. She's still figuring out, I got to survive. I got to get this money. But she was taught that second piece. Feminism has infiltrated the minority communities. And you've actually seen it as a pattern within all the westernized civilizations. That's why marriage is declining. Divorce is up. Single mother and parent households are up in all of these countries because it's the same thread. It's the same thread. And what's worse is, you want to know how effective it is? It's so rampant and so effective. The best way to explain for women who espouse feminist talking points and ideology without realizing, because they didn't sit in a class that was called feminism, it's the equivalent of a fish that was born in water that's trying to debate and argue with everybody about whether or not it's actually wet. It is your world. It is our civilization. We are a matriarchal system culturally. We are a patriarchy politically. We are a matriarchy culturally. So if you look at it through that lens, that's why when you go to court, you and me will not be viewed the same way. If you do something wrong, you won't get the same consequences that I will if I do said thing. So it's so much involved in so much of what we do. We have boys growing up in single mother households who doesn't know what leadership and masculinity looks like anymore. Feminism has destabilized our culture. The nuclear family is not seen as essential. Women for the last 20 years are saying out loud, I don't need a man. That is feminist ideology.
But you didn't hear me say that. And I've never been taught that.
What? Oh,
you have never heard me say I don't need a man. I never say that.
You don't say that, Bo.
I never say that.
You don't say that, but your mom raising you on survival and the mentality of you having to take care of yourself. You're living your life.
Smell it.
If you don't need that man, you don't need a man because you can take care of everything.
No, I'm not. I am living my life as if there may not be one. But my mother has always tried to get this I need a man out of me because she wants me to understand that may not come. Not that I don't, like, you don't need no man. No, but I need you to be able to take care of yourself just in case that doesn't happen. She wanted me to be prepared. I have always been the type that I'm like, I need a man. I have always been that type that made myself available, that made myself, and y'all hear me talking like this. It is because of the effort that I have put in. It is because I have been that soft, feminine, soft-spoken, agreeable person. All of these things that you all say women need to be, I have been that. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
But I got married. I'm sorry. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in being that agreeable, soft, serving wife, all of the things, right?
Yeah.
I had to become the person that you see right now because I know that even if you have a man, they're not always reliable because men are not raised to be husbands. Men are not raised to be leaders. They're raised to be men.
But would it matter?
Don't lead.
Would it matter?
All right. I got a little bit more context. 1 second.
Fair use, YouTube. Fair use, please.
This whole things not working out, in and out of relationships, lengthy periods where they're just not having success. And when I'm finding out what's the reason for why you're leaving, this guy doesn't communicate, this guy cheated, this guy this guy that. And I asked them a simple question. If you had to choose between one man that you gave 20 chances to or 20 men that you give one chance to, which would you choose? Your lifestyle. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying women's lifestyles that are single that are off and on and not successful long-term for 10, 15, 20 years is that they're choosing the option B. They keep giving these chances to men that were supposed to be vetted by somebody else other than your emotions.
Oh.
That is feminism. When I talk to women about this whole things not working out, in and out of relationships.
All right, fellas. So this is like I said, the therapist, Jeff St. James. Um, so a lot of people are deeming him to be like a Kevin Samuels like character. But um, he's talking some good stuff. I can agree with. But like the title of this show is "Restoring the Black Nuclear Family." Do you feel like he can be a vessel to help restore the black nuclear family from what he's saying, or to hurt, based on what you just heard? Coach, you want to go first?
Yeah. And like I said again, to kind of give context, I think his channel started like in the first of the year, and what transpired is he he was on a podcast with two women. I think one woman was from the UK, the other woman was from Canada, and it was talking about this show Adolescence that's on Netflix. And basically, you know, they really have a lot of feminist thoughts, feminist ideals, gynocratic ideology. They only see things from a woman's perspective and a woman's point of view. And basically, he kind of, every point they made, he made a brilliant and excellent counterpoint. And he was able to like debunk a lot of the feminist talking points that modern westernized women have, because the two women that he was on the podcast with, neither of those two women are from the US. One is from the UK, one is from Canada. And basically, you know, he talked about, you know, the incel phenomenon, and in addition to that, like issues that affect men. And realistically, it, you know, that video ended up being viral like maybe like a month ago. And as a result, what he's done is he's kind of went on every like major manosphere or every major red pill type platform. You know, he's been on Crimson Cure's channel. He's been on the Peace Network, you know, which you just showed a couple clips from.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like he's had this meteoric rise. And one of the down things about Kevin Samuels is a lot of men that don't have experience, or they use a lot of his talking points and they don't understand the reason and the rationale behind. I'm gonna give you an example. I kind of saw a guy go on a platform and he used a lot of Kevin Samuels talking points, but once he got like far out in left field, he really didn't have the he wasn't able to articulate the points as well. He didn't have like enough knowledge on his own just to kind of be able to stand on his own 2 feet. Whereas Jeff St. James, he's a therapist, you know, from a professional standpoint. You know, he's a real life clinician, and in addition to that, he sees life the way, you know, a married black man in America sees it. And realistically, from a political standpoint, like he has a lot of the same like ideals and ideologies, 7 Day Sports TV, and he has a lot of the talking points and ideas and ideology of Kevin Samuels. So it's kind of like the perfect blend and perfect mix. Now, in terms of like the restoration of the black family, do I think uh he's gonna succeed in maybe reaching like a small percentage of people or women? Because see, men already rock with him. I mean, he's already said that he's had men like DM him or email him or whatever from like literally all over the world, from African countries, uh, you know, from Western countries. So, I mean, his rise has been meteoric. Like I said, I mean, just think about it. Like in less than a month, he's going at 15,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just to kind of give that context, I mean, the general. I mean, we know YouTube playing games with his channel, but for all intents and purposes, the general has like 100K followers. And his
Right.
backup channel, the No 304 show, where him and Blu-ray has had excellent shows and has done great content. Like, General, what's your channel like? What you have, like somewhere between like 1.5 and 2K subscribers, I think. It's something along those lines,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like a 1,700, something like that.
Yeah, so we talking about like 1.7K. Man, this dude got 15K in 1 month. So like you said, Jared, it goes to show you how hot he is from a red pill manosphere, like talking in terms of his talking points. However, I think the issue he's already run into is, women are already asking him questions like, do you hate black women? They're trying to like fact check him in terms of his credentials, because there's also a woman named Dr. Cheyenne Bryant who's kind of espouse some of the same talking points as him. However, she's trying to direct it towards women, but she kind of comes across as trying to play both sides and a little bit of a feminist. And the issue with her is, she went on Paul Pierce's podcast, and basically Paul Pierce is like, basically you saying that the reason why women aren't having success in relationships is because of XYZ. And based on, what he's seeing, like essentially you doing the same thing. So he was like, well, why aren't you married? Or why aren't you this? And he started like digging into her background. And in all actuality, she not living what she's saying. But the thing about it is they never really questioned her whether she's a doctor. They never tried to like go and verify her credentials. Whereas with him, they're trying to verify his credentials. They asking, does he hate women? And basically a lot of the same like counterpoints, women with feminist ideals have, like the red pill talking points, as opposed to just having a conversation. And basically, like Kevin Samuels see all the time, they operate in bad faith. And in many instances, I'm not gonna lie, being someone that done been married and someone that has dated, in many instances, women, he's pointed this out on like his podcast and some of the platforms he's been on. Basically, he was saying in many instances when women, when they don't hear what they want to hear, they find a way to discredit the message or the messenger, and essentially that's what they're doing with him. And I think why
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I think his platform is going to grow. I think he can have like a Kevin Samuels type impact. However, I don't think it's going to reach as many people as it could or it should, from the mere fact that many instances women, they wanna listen to what makes them feel good, what sounds good, what's appealing to their ear. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, if you want, if you're trying to target women, you tell them what they want to hear. If you trying to target men, you use sex because sex sells. Men appeal to what they see. So he's already talking about how people are coming after him in terms of his DMs and his comment section and so on and so forth. So even like this early in the game, he's already being faced with a lot of backlash, and he think that he could potentially lose his career as a therapist. But he said he feel like this is a part of his purpose and his calling. Somebody that's a therapist, they're saying a lot to lose from a professional standpoint in terms of credentials and offending their own people, so on and so forth. But he feel like this is kind of what he's supposed to do.
Okay. Okay. I just don't want him to just to be another red pill um channel.
Well,
Uh,
just to kind of give you further context, truthfully speaking, he whereas Kevin Samuels was more of a male advocate, he approaches it from a therapist point of view, and he has more of a balanced perspective. Just to
okay.
kind of give you an example, all right, he was saying like accountability, and I'm not gonna lie, one thing I've gone through in my relationships is like the woman you're in a relationship with, she comes and she says, "Hey, I have an issue with you doing X, Y, Z," and I apologize, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to address the issue. I'm going to take care of it so it won't be an issue moving forward." And he basically was saying, women, they don't have that linear thought pattern in terms of that correlation with accountability. If you go to a woman and you tell her, hey, I have an issue with this, they take it more as a personal attack as opposed to you having an issue with this particular issue. So they really can't compartmentalize it. They look at you saying, hey, she's a bad wife, she's a bad girlfriend, she's a bad whatever. Basically, she's a bad person, as opposed to she's doing something that you don't like. So he's been able to explain the reason why in Western relationships, men and women have some of these issues. And I could kind of attest to everything he's saying from that standpoint, because I'm not gonna lie, I really couldn't understand why, in relationships, I've been in a relationship and the woman was able to be like point blank, brutally honest and straightforward and frank and say, hey, I have an issue with this. I need you to address this. I need you to fix this. And I apologize and say, all right, hey, I'm gonna try to do better moving forward. And I do the exact same thing. And instead of her just addressing the issue, now it's all about feelings and emotions and you feel attacked personally. I'm like, hold up, when you did the same thing, like I didn't have that approach, and I know I'm not as emotional as you, but you can't see the double standard. So essentially, he's been able to point out the reason why a lot of Western relationships really don't work, because like the general says all the time, like women need to understand men, and men need to understand women. And based on what I'm seeing in terms of, women coming after him, so on and so forth, like the lady Bo on the clip you gave, she trying to understand it, but she really hadn't been able to connect the dots. Whereas, from a man's perspective, it kind of gives me a little bit more clarity in terms of like issues I've had in my relationship, especially with the accountability piece.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Before I go to the general, just want to shout out everybody to the chat in the chat. Big Red hosted Big Boy Talk. He said, "Hello, good people. What's good, man?" Uh, the underrated darkness. Salute to you, the panel and chat. I appreciate you, brother, for coming in. And my brother Jay the 6, he says, "Yo, yo, what's good, man?" And my brother Joseph Townsend. Salute to the family. Coach, oh, that's Coach, of course. And then Motivation to be a Millionaire. Good morning and salute. Gerald 11 Green, Coach 67 Sports TV, and 78 Sports TV in chat. And salute Jared. Relax and Calm Rain says salute Jared, Coach 67 Sport, 78 Sports TV, and the entire panel in chat. All right, appreciate y'all for support, man. But General, what are your thoughts?
Peace to the chat. Yeah, man. I think I like what the brother. I like his presentation. I like his setup. I like his temperament so far. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's trying to be a fake Kevin Samuel. I think those guys
Right.
are the guys who are trying to be a fake Kevin Samuel. You can pretty much tell them right away because they got, in my opinion, just my opinion, they got a lot of feminine characteristics where they like to argue a lot. I don't like arguing with women. You know what I'm saying? It just turned me off. I hate arguing with people in general, but arguing with a chick, especially when I know I'm right, is something I just refuse to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, but a lot of these podcasters, our argument is good for clicks. It's good for you could take that, make a short out of it, and do a bunch of different videos. You make a lot of money off of arguing. So that's why a lot of these podcasters do it. But this guy seemed like he's a legit therapist. At least that's how his temperament is good. I don't know enough about his background to vouch for nobody, but I'm just saying from what I've seen, I like his temperament. Now, as for the discussion, I agree with what he was saying, but I also understand what the woman was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. She was saying that her mom raised her not to depend on a man because in our society we know what they do to black men.
Right.
So she's saying if you don't get a man, right? If you don't, you might not find a forever husband or something like that. And if you don't find one, what are you going to do? Are you going to roll over and die? Or are you going to Just go? Are you going to just settle for any type of anything and be with some dude going upside your head? A motherfucker having 5, 6 babies on you and all this type of stuff. Like, what are you gonna do? So I understand the perspective. She said, because I got daughters. I'm raising my daughters from they was time they was babies. I raised them. They was in the kitchen with their mother, learning how to cook, learning how to clean, stuff like that. Both my daughters can cook. Okay, they know how to clean up. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on them about doing this, doing that. I'm raising them with traditional women uh, values, and I also teach them to respect men. Okay, I teach them to respect men, but I'm also teaching them to have their own businesses. Okay,
Mm.
now I refuse to have my daughter rely on the quality of men that's out here today. I'm not gonna raise my daughters to make them feel like if you don't get a man, then you ain't nothing, you failed. Because that's like raising a brother and telling him, hey man, you can't find no woman. Man, you can't find no woman. What you doing out here, man? You must think about how a brother would feel
Right.
if he going through something and he can't find the right woman through all these filthy chicks that's out here. He can't find the right one, and then we shaming him, telling him, "Oh man, you part of the problem. You ain't got no woman. You can't find a woman." So you gotta. It's like this, and this is the thing that we as men gotta do a better job of. You gotta stop shaming women for being single mothers. I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why. Yes, some women choose to be a single mother, and we know who those women are, and to hell with them. We ain't talking about them.
Right.
But you cannot tell a woman like who was just on that show. Now, let's say she does rely upon a man, and she says, "Okay, I'm looking for a husband. I'm looking for a husband." Blah blah blah, and she does everything the right way in her mind. Everything her mama taught her, she doing it the right way. Let's say her mom told her to, save yourself for your husband, pick a man with a good job, a man who love you, man gonna take care of you. Fine. So she picks that guy, and that guy chooses her. Now, 5 years later, she got 2 babies, and then she find out this man got a whole nother family, right? She find out this dude got 2, 3 more kids, right? And been cheating on her with another chick. Now, she can suck her pride up and say, hey, I'm going to stay with him because this is my family, blah, blah, blah. Or she can say, okay, well, he disrespected me and he lied. He ain't who I thought he was, and she can leave him. Or he can leave her regardless. At that point, she's a single mother with 2 kids. Her stock just dropped drastically now. And then we as men are going to judge her and say, oh, look, she one of them chicks. You make bad decisions. You make bad decisions with men. So what is she supposed to do at this point? Is she supposed to take care of herself and her kids? Or is she supposed to wait for another man to come in and take care of her? I think we got to be very careful of how we talk about these type of things. Yes, feminism is absolutely real, and feminism has destroyed feminism and racism have destroyed the black family for sure.
Right.
But I think we gotta be careful in telling our daughters or telling women that they have to rely upon a dude, or they should be relying on a dude. I think that's BS, because to be honest with you, I know a lot of good brothers out here, but I know a lot of dudes out here also who can't take care of themselves, let alone
Yeah,
take,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? I know a whole bunch of dudes who can't take care of themselves. So if that woman depend upon you, like let's think about it right now. If you want, how are you gonna say you want a woman to depend upon you, right? And not be a feminist and all this stuff, right? But then if the woman says, "Hey, I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom. I'm gonna cook clean. I'm gonna have sex with you. I'm gonna make sure the house clean." Most dudes, that's to a dude like me, that sounds like a great deal. But to a lot of dudes, they're gonna be thinking, "Man, I can't pay all these bills by myself, though. We gotta go 50-50. We gotta do 50."
Mm.
You can't ask for 50-50 and then you want her to be a traditional woman. You gotta be a traditional man. See what I'm
Yeah, it
saying?
can go both ways, right?
It can't, and that's the confusion, that the conversation is not being had. There's a lot of hypocrisy on both sides in the discussion. It's the dudes is being hypocrites because they frustrated and they lonely, and the women is being hypocrites because they frustrated and lonely. You know what I'm saying? So if people come together and willing to compromise and come to an understanding. And like I always say on my Patreon, everybody has to understand the nature of each other. If you as a man understand the nature of woman, the true nature and the role of woman, and she understands the true nature of man, then you can assess if each other is doing each other's job. And if one person ain't doing the other person's job, you can call that out. And if she don't want to accept what you saying to her, then it's time to move on. No matter how long you've been with her, how many kids you got, you know what I'm saying? Life is too short. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to. Nobody wants to be a statistic. Nobody wants to, have a broken and fractured family and stuff like that. But if you get into a situation to where, uh, you know, the modern woman disease is affecting your situation, your girl or whatever, then it's time to move on. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. And it's unfortunate, but that's what I see.
Man, and that goes into like what the show is about, how to restore the black nuclear family. You just said one of the well, yeah, it is one of the things we can do. We have to stop with the attacking talking points against each other, and both sides, men and women, have something we need to work on or deal with. Both sides need to chill, just sit down somewhere and heal. Because a lot of
Yeah,
us are bitter. A lot of us are the general just said, angry and lonely, and we speaking out of hate.
Yeah, it's like, look, bro, you can't. I mean, look, man. I think I'm a balanced person. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that kind of stuff, right? Uh, I think I'm balanced, but it's like um, some how can I say this the right way? Okay, I feel like it's too many people online that's not qualified to talk about relationships. That's talking about relationships. Now I don't know the brother's past or his history, or I don't know, what he got going on other than what y'all told me and what I just heard. But it's the relationship space, I guess you can call it, online is
Hmm.
it's popping right now. It's popping, right? And like I said, it's popping a lot because people like to argue. You know what I'm saying? Girls like to argue with dudes. Dudes like to argue with girls. I ain't got time for it because I'm confident in who I am to the point where if you don't like, okay, fine, I could just walk away. Like we'll have to argue. Like if this is how you feel about something, we can discuss it for sure. But I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you about something I know, and I'll just cut you off and just keep it moving. But I think that nowadays you're gonna see more and more people trying to come into this space, and but few people gonna be able to be successful with it. Um, it's a certain type of delivery. It's a certain type of game you got to play to really get that avenue popping. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
arguments and the perception of crushing some woman in a debate and stuff like that. That's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Even if that's not your personality, in order to unfortunately, our people is addicted to negativity, man. So
Trauma, yeah.
yeah, drama. That's what we did. That's why reality TV is popping the way they popping. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Black Wonder Years got put off TV. It was too positive. You know what I'm saying? People want to see some drama. They want to see some fighting. They want to see some ghetto nonsense because people want to see something that they can criticize to make themselves feel like I'm better than him. Well, I ain't doing that bad. You know what I'm saying? Well, look at them. Look at them. Everybody want to look at something they can look down on and feel like they better than somebody else. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just my opinion.
No, that's facts, man. And
yeah,
coach, you about to say something?
yeah, and the general, he made some excellent points, and one thing he was saying about Jeff St. James is, that's one of the positive traits and characteristics that people like about him is, his tonality. One of the criticisms that many people got with Kevin Samuels is they didn't like his tone. We call it the tone police. In many instances, if someone is saying something as opposed to you attacking their point, you didn't like their delivery method. Whereas with him, he's kind of even keel, and you could tell he legitimately comes across as a legit therapist in terms of his tonality. You know what I'm saying? Now, in terms of like the young lady Bo, I think the general made some excellent points in regards to her. But one of the counterpoints is, in many instances, these women, her and I are practically the same age. And, she was saying she was married and she got divorced. She didn't go into her, like the details of what transpired in their relationship. But from my personal experience, when you have a lot of modern women and, they were saying, hey, I was a good wife and I was good this and I was that and I was agreeable and soft and feminine. In her mind, she might think she's those things.
Right.
Is a man that's been on the opposite side of it. I mean, I was in a relationship with this woman, and she was like, I was good. I cooked for you, and I did this and I did that. I'm like, look, you're looking at all the positive things you did. I'm like, for every, one good thing you did multiple bad things. So you looking, when it came to me, overwhelmingly, I was good to you, and people around you saying, hey, that was a good man. You should have kept him. And on the flip side, you looking at, so if I did like one thing wrong, if I did 10 things, if I did one thing wrong and 9 things right, she would point at the one thing I did wrong and gloss over the 9 things I did right. Whereas on the opposite end of the spectrum, she would, focus on the one great thing she did and like it's the greatest thing ever, and gloss over the 9 things she did wrong. And I'm like, in your mind, you are a good partner in a relationship. But I'm telling you, from my point of view, in my perspective, like, you were, it was an unpleasant experience. So that's why we're no longer together. You know what I'm saying? Now, in terms of, like Kevin Samuels, this say, for example, I discovered him, like, at that time during COVID, the only thing I was watching was Trill Boxing, Trill Talk in the morning, because Black Fight Fan, he kind of redid the presentation of it. And 7-8 and Black and CC, they would come on in the mornings, and that pretty much was the only thing I was watching. And then I went through a phase during quarantine where I was separated from my ex-wife, and everything that he was saying, like everything I was going through, like he spoke like all of these bullet points and talking points, and I'm like, dang, everything he talking but like I'm literally going through in real time. So that's why he resonated so much with me. And in terms of, I agree with like most of what he said, but one of the things I disagreed with him was the in terms of like vetting, like you could find somebody and get married in 6 months. I'm like, nah, that ain't true, because I've been in relationships where you start dating this person and you meet their representative in the beginning, and then later on they make this cold switch and they are a completely different person, and you really see them for who they really are, and you're like, dang, like she got some real scumbag characteristics that I really didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And I think, one thing the general always points out is how like we shouldn't be dismissive of like women with children. And is a man that is a single man without kids that's been married to a woman with kids. I'm not saying that single women shouldn't have kids. My point of view and my perspective is, if a woman has kids, she should find her a man with kids and vice versa. Because, if you're a woman and you don't have kids and your husband has like multiple kids or whatever, I think that's unfair to the woman and vice versa if the shoe is on the other foot. So my perspective is, I think we should have like, and that's the thing that aggravates me when I see these women online, women that got multiple kids by multiple different daddies, and they like, hey, I need me a man that don't have no kids because I don't want no baby mama drama. And I'm like, isn't that the popcorn and kettle black? Like, look at the hypocrisy in the situation. You have kids. If you try, first of all, you should be trying to find just a good man that is going to accept you and your kids. For you to go to the extreme of saying, I don't want a man with kids, and you got multiple kids by multiple different men, I think that's extremely like hypocritical in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? And the general right from the standpoint of when we talk about relationships, that's why I never really want to be in a relationship space, because a lot of these conversations are extremely circular from the standpoint of, a lot of these men that haven't been through a lot of relationship experience, they use a lot of the same Kevin Samuels talking points. And, women on the opposite side. They use kind of like, Cynthia G, Kendra G, Shira 7 talking points, and it becomes a circular conversation to the point where nothing really is achieved. And that's one thing I don't like about the relationship space. In the last point I was making, in terms of Jeff St. James, in terms of his relationship history, the way he talked, like when he was a younger man, he used to have to put forth a lot of effort to try to get to chicks, and oftentimes it didn't work. But once he kind of reached 30 and he kind of came into his own, maybe he was a late bloomer or whatever, like he went through a phase where I guess he like ran through a lot of chicks, and then I guess he came to this type of epiphany where he wanted to get married and have a family and this, that, and the third, and I guess eventually he settled down. So everything he's saying, the way he's talking, like he don't have nothing to lie, nothing to hide or whatever. He's a real life therapist, and I guess he had his male whole phase or whatever, but he's better, and I guess he feels like he kind of wants to tell women the truth as opposed to being like a Steve Harvey, Derek Jackson type, just telling women what they want to hear.
Okay, okay. Joseph Townsend said, there's a difference between learning to function as an adult while looking for a mate and function as an adult, not needing any and everybody. That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. And my brother Grown with Soul says, salute, salute, great brothers. Salute Grown with Soul, man.
Man, salute,
Bro,
bro.
what's happening?
I need to stop procrastinating on my garden. I need to go ahead and start my garden.
Man, I gotta every time I do a garden, man, in my backyard, man, I get these monster possum sized rats, man, that come out, man, and they be burrowing in my yard, man, and be eating up the vegetables and stuff,
You
man.
need you need a companion plant like what growing. You need to find a plant that the rats won't don't like.
Like mint or something.
Yeah, they don't like the scent. So
Yeah,
yeah, every plant needs a companion plant to shoo away whatever um animals or or even insects.
yeah, I'm gonna get something out there. I've been murking them though, man. Man, I be murking them mugs, boy. I be like the rat hunter out there, man. The story I did my dog out there, man. One of my one of my one of my dogs, man. She loves killing rats, man. She love it. But yeah, I be out there. They be in that
they
backyard, man. They come back every year, bro. I kill a whole nest of them. I'm talking about I killed the whole family, wipe the clan out. It's always this one big old rat, like he the king of the rats. He like Ben. This joker always get away, man. I know it's him because he gray. He big and gray. And this joker always escape, man. He don't eat none of the poison. I put down my some natural poison and stuff. I put down traps. This I cannot catch this dude, man. He big, man. He gray. He old. He an OG. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him though. Yeah, I'm gonna get him though, man. That dude, he come back every year. He come back and build a new family, man. And I can't catch him, but I'm gonna catch his ass though. Watch.
General got an OG rat attacking his garden. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey, going with Soul say hit him up, General. He said he got some solutions for you.
Okay,
Yeah,
bet.
and,
Bet.
and what I just told you I got from him. I
Okay,
got
yeah,
from him
yeah,
about that companion plant. So yeah, he gonna guide you through. He the real deal.
yes, sir. I'm gonna hit you up so on Instagram later on this week.
And 86 goes. Yeah, we talking about trying to make a garden. And General was talking about how them Vernon be deboing his plants and shit. But yeah, man. I like what the brother is saying. He sound like he's very competent in what's going on. And I just don't want him to be another um another tool to fuel the gender war.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah,
but but
yeah,
but I'm not gonna lie. From a political standpoint, like if you start watching this content, like if you like what the brother talking about, you can end up going down the rabbit hole, and everything the general saying from a political standpoint in terms of not being locked into the Democratic plantation or the Republican plantation and being an independent free thinker. Like he talked about a lot of those same talking points. That's why I say it kind of, if you listen to his content, it's like a combination of what the general talks about on his Patreon. Y'all be sure to go check out the general Patreon. A lot of good game, for men, or just people in general. And in addition to that, like it's a more balanced approach to some of Kevin Samuels' talking points. So I'm not gonna lie, the brother is very balanced and very even keeled.
Yeah. So yeah, what he's saying sounds good, man. It sounds
Yes,
good.
sir.
Um, but
And I want to say this real quick about Kevin Samuel too. Like I
go ahead.
always say, like I was a fan of Kevin Samuel, and R.I.P. to him. The only disagreement I had with Kevin Samuel is I think he got caught up too much into the gender war thing because
Hmm.
he didn't start off like that. At first, he was real balanced, and a lot of stuff he said was like making a lot of sense. Now, the stuff he said later still made sense. It's just I didn't like the like he kept making it seem like a high value man was a man with money, and I didn't like that because it's a lot of dudes with money who pieces of trash, and
Donald Trump.
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like money don't make you a high value man, but I think that this is what I mean by the hypocrisy of us men sometimes. Because if you're saying that money makes you a high value man, or this guy, he make 600,000 a year, he a high value man, okay. All right, but what if he beat up on his woman and don't take care of his kids? Is he still a high value man? Is he like because you can't, just because he got money, you can't say that, because now if a woman says I'm looking for a high value man, ain't you really saying that she's a gold digger? Like
Mm.
what are we really saying then if that's the case? A high value man, and like I said the other day, a high value man is a man who will do anything to take care of his family. A man who will sacrifice his pride. He'll go scrub toilets at McDonald's to make sure his kids can eat. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a lot of clowns out here that got kids to feed, and will sit there. They'll rather beg somebody else, beg you, call you up, and beg you for to pay their bills for them. Man, just help me out, man. Woo woo. But they ain't gonna tell you they just turned down a job at Wendy's. They turn down a
Mm.
job because they think they too good to work there. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. That's what stuff that pissed me off. So a high value man to me will do whatever it takes to take care of his family. You know what I mean? And that means sacrifice his pride. If sometimes he might have to. Uh, uh, that means going to work when you're sick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Feet hurt and all that kind of stuff. Make no excuses. Now whatever. I mean, my little brother, man. My little brother wasn't driving at one point, right? Didn't have no ride, and this man walked 5 miles to work. 5 miles. Now, every
Mm.
day he would walk 5 miles to work, and then 5 miles home, and come home. And when he got there, you know what he had waiting for him? Clean house, cook food already cooked. The kids are sitting down, happy to see him when he come home. His wife already ran some bath water for him to soak his feet and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Took care of him. He can get out, eat his food, watch him his favorite TV show, get some sex, and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's how a man who's make those type of sacrifices should be treated. You know what I mean? Now, he should come home and to all of that. You know what I'm saying? But now, it's a lot of women out here today in this modern society that will call her a pick me or something.
Hmm.
Oh, what's she doing that for? She ain't got to do that. Oh, it this and that. And I'm telling you right now, you know, me personally, I can't compromise when it comes to that. I can compromise on a lot of things to keep my family together and to keep you know what I'm saying, this black family thing rocking. But one thing I can't compromise is you doing your job. As a woman, you got to do your job as a woman, because I'm going to do mine. You know what I'm saying? You can't come to me and say, you ain't never going to have to worry about the lights not being on, or we finna get evicted, or, you know, oh, the water pipe then busted, and, oh, the sink stopped up. And anytime, oh, the car broke down. Anytime some shit like that happened, it's gonna get done. It's gonna get taken care of and it's gonna get fixed by me. Okay, but when I'm feeling weak, when I'm feeling beat up, when I need to pick me up, when I need some motivation, the moment you stop giving me that, you got to get out of my fucking house.
Mm. Like you said earlier, like it can't get it can't do both ways. It can't be both ways. Gotta be some
Mm-hmm.
give and take in a relationship. So I hear you.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, the general was doing some great cooking. And one of the things I like that the general always says is, nothing more revolutionary in 2025 than raising a nuclear black family. But one counterpoint to the high value man thing, Kevin Sam used to say this all the time. Like women used to misconstrue his point on what a high value man is. Like it wasn't just about finances. That's why, like he said, like if you was like a professional athlete or entertainer or anything like that, in his mind, you didn't fit to the high value man category. It was like 6 bullet points that you had to meet to kind of be like a high value man. And he always felt like women took it and just made it strictly about money. In his mind, it wasn't just about money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, if you're a high value man, just say you're a surgeon or you're a lawyer, you whatever the case may be. Like it took you years to get to that point, so you had to go through a certain degree of like trials and tribulations to get to that point where you are high earning, like doctor or surgeon or lawyer, whatever the case may be. So in his mind, it was like certain bullet points that you had to meet to be a high value man. It was like 6 or 7 bullet points. It wasn't just about the monetary aspect of it in itself.
That's good. That's good because that's one of the downfalls of social media now is everybody takes something and make it into a short, a clip. They'll take something that a whole 2 hour show and reduce it down to a 60-second talking points, and you never really get the full understanding. So thank you for telling me that, bro.
Yeah, and one thing, like salute to the brother True Titan. Like
Yeah.
on his show, he was always good, but talking about that. And I used to be in this chat, and we'll be talking back and forth through the chat. A lot of times women like used to reduce Kevin Samuels down to just like you said, just that 60-second viral clip, but they would have a better understanding of him if they sat through like a 3 hour live stream, 2.5 hour live stream. I mean, the dude had over 1 million subscribers, and he used to go live like every night, like from like 10 to like whatever it was, 10 to like 3, 9 to 3, whatever, 9 to like, like 3 hour live streams. So in many instances, women that used to hate him and couldn't stand him and urinated and defecated on his grave when he passed, they would have a better understanding of him and his talking points if they actually had enough patience to sit down and sit through like a 2 hour live stream or like a long form video of his. They would have a better understanding of him as opposed to just watching the viral clips or the viral bullet points.
Yeah,
No
man.
doubt.
And salute to Drew Titan over there, the Painful Excellence podcast. Appreciate
Yes,
that, brother.
sir.
Good knowledge he be sharing as well. Grown with Soul said, wisdom, character, and determination, sacrifice are examples of a high value man. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And he says, all facts general. After 15 years of marriage, the glue to my relationship is both myself and wife operation and our roles.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. When everybody is doing their job, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, it's hard to beat a football team when the quarterback is being the quarterback and the offensive line is doing the offensive line job and the defense doing their job. The moment somebody else try to do somebody else's job, it get all confusing and messed up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you driving the car, you on the highway doing 75 miles an hour, and your wife take the wheel and turn real hard to the left, it's gonna be an accident. You know what I'm saying? So everybody got to do their job. And like I said, now it's hard nowadays of this, because of the modern BS. These women today is being bombarded, and these kids, everybody's being bombarded with so much programming like this in a time that we never like to ask. Do you know how rare it is to get a woman and a man to conduct themselves like we did in the 1960s. In the 1960s, even though it was the country was at is one of its most racist times, the black family was at its peak at that point, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we had to rely on each other, right? And everybody did the black man did his role, the woman did her role, and everybody was cool with that. But we didn't have the programming that we have today. It was no internet. Everybody didn't have a TV channel, a million different TV channels and all that kind of stuff. So so with all the knowledge that you have, you can teach your woman. She can be educated. You can be educated. You can teach your children. But you constantly fighting a battle against the programming. So they program your woman now to be argumentative, to be disrespectful, to not appreciate you, even if she know better. You got to fight against all of that stuff that is being programmed. Same thing with your kids. You teaching your kids right from wrong, but then you got to pay attention to what they watching on TV, what they looking at on their phone. You can't watch them 24/7.
Mm.
So you have to hope and pray that that what you are instilling in them sticks. You know what I'm saying? It sticks. But uh, but yeah, man, that's just what it is. And the same thing with us brothers as men. We being programmed. That's why I don't watch a lot of stuff. People call me early in the morning, like you just try to mess up my energy. I don't even answer the phone until I do my morning walk and I plan my day, get my peace on. I don't answer my phone because some people wake up in the morning with evil on their mind. They wake up
Yes.
they wake up early in the morning, bro, and be like, and I'm the first person they want to call with some BS. Hey, hey, man. Hey, you see this stuff, this man, such and such man, black man got hung from a tree down in such and such. I'm like, bro, it's 6:30 in the morning, bro. I just woke up. Like, why are you telling me this? Well, what have you been doing all night? You ain't got nothing to do? Get your ass up and go do something, bro. Why are you calling me at 6:30 in the morning telling me that somebody died because you a devil? You got the spirit of evil on you, and you want to infect me with that bull. It ain't finna happen, bro. You give me my peace, bro. Leave me alone, and I'll talk to you about. We can gossip later on after I get my walk on and go look at this water and go pay my respects to the earth or something. Man, I ain't got time to be waking up early in the morning and hearing some old negative stuff. It's some people like that, and they don't even know they. Some people don't know they doing it, and others do it on purpose. See what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like I learned to start listening to my intuition, my spirit. Like some people will call me. Like yesterday, somebody called. I didn't even answer. Right? I see because I noticed the last 4 times I talked to this person, I left the phone depressed. And I said, man, what the? I'm
Energy
like,
vampire.
yeah, there you go, energy vampire right there. So I said, man. So when he called me again, and I'm like, man, this dude been calling me every day for like the last week. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, so I'm like, wait a minute, nah. So I didn't answer. He called me like 3 times. I didn't answer. Right? So I waited until after I calmed down and I got, what I'm saying, I was prepared. I said, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I said, I know. Now I'm prepared. I know what kind of energy he's gonna come with. So I call him, right? I call him later on. I say, hey, what's going on, man? I missed your call. What's going on? He say, oh, nothing much, man. I was just trying to see how you was feeling, man. See what you check on your mood. See what your mood like, man. And then I said, oh, okay. I said, good looking out. I'm all right. And then the first thing he said, now mind you, he just said he was trying to see what my mood was like, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so then he say, oh man, yeah, did you hear about this and that? And he got to talking about just some more negative stuff about uh black women this and black women that and black women you can't trust the black woman and this and that and all this stuff. And I said, yeah, but now I'm prepared. So I already got my little blockers up. So I said, yeah, okay, yeah, I feel you, man. I hear what you're saying. Hey, man, I'm gonna call you back, bro. I got something to take care of real quick. You know what I mean? Get up out of here. Now I know the next time he called me, I'm just not answering. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't got time at this stage in my life, man, and where my health is and what I'm trying to do. everything I do now has to be calculated to either advance me or entertain me. You
Yes, sir.
understand? He got to advance me or he got to entertain me. Okay. And if you ain't doing one of them, what you're not finna do is depress me. Right? You're not finna stress me. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Yes, sir. And that's why and it's funny. That's why because you mentioned that on other show or your own show. That's why I be sending you like funny stuff, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And I be funny sending Joe and Coach funny stuff to make. Sometimes you need a good laugh, man.
Absolutely.
And I do that.
Absolutely.
My brother, my father, we do that to each other. So y'all like family, so I do that to y'all too. So yeah, man, y'all gotta be mindful of other people's peace, and if you don't, then like 78 said, you the devil. I believe that people are assigned to destroy your peace. That's their mission.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, some people will do that they'll do it on purpose, man. Like I said, I appreciate somebody sending me something funny or somebody sending me a positive story of you know what I'm saying, a black kid that invented something or just something, you know what I'm saying, just some a nice video or something. Now, I'm not saying can't nobody ever send me nothing negative. It's just that you gotta be mindful of every time you talk to me, you got bad news, then I'm going to avoid you. See what I'm saying? That's common sense. Who wouldn't avoid somebody who always got bad news? And every time I talk to you, like it drained me so much. I'm trying to lift your spirits up so much that I get drained of my energy and I ain't got nothing for me left. You know what I'm saying? Now
Right.
I'm depressed and I need somebody to pick me up. Like, man, I'm not doing that no more. Can't do it, man. So and I tell one of my homeboys that same thing a couple years ago. Like, look, bro, you my guy. I rock with you heavy, bro. But every time we get together, bro, you depressed. You know what I'm saying? You got to go see a therapist or something, bro. Because I'm not finna be babying you, a grown man. You keep threatening to unalive yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't even give a fuck no more. That's how bad it done got. Like, do
Wow.
what you gotta do, bro. Because you keep how many times do I have to counsel you about staying alive, about being here, bro? You got 4 children. You got 4 children that need you, that love you, and you keep talking about unaliving yourself. Go see a therapist, bro. I'm not finna be sitting here and I'm not finna take responsibility for your safety in your life. I'm not finna do that. I already talked to you 5, 6 times already about being here for your kids and this and that, and it ain't that bad. But you think I'm the person you can lean on with this emotional garbage. I'm not doing that, bro. No. So I told him. I said, look, man, I'm not hanging around you no more. He said, why you say that? I said, bro, because you too depressing, and then you don't want to live. If you don't want to live, then I got no reason to be. I hang with the living, not the dead. Okay,
Right.
I hang with the living. So if I'm gonna be around, how do I know being around you? If you don't want to be here, you're gonna make bad decisions to get yourself unalived and anybody around you. Okay, so I'm not gonna mess with you no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's the conversation he needed because now, um, after that he went to therapy and he in better spirits now. He just needed somebody to tell him, get away from me with that BS, man. Either you gonna do it or you ain't. Shut up. But I ain't nobody finna baby you walking around here, man. You don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna talk to you 2 times about that. After that, you gonna have to show me, make me a believer. Anybody got time for this attention seeking nonsense?
Facts. Facts, man. That's like I said, energy vampires, man, and a lot of them do know it. 78 that they built like that. A lot of them
Mm-hmm.
do know it. They don't care. They just want everybody to be miserable like them.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was a girl who did that to me one time. I was. This was like sometime I think last year, right? Maybe
Hmm.
last year, the year before. I was at the park, you know, just chilling and stuff, doing my thing, walking and stuff, and looking at the water. And it was like one of those days where I felt extra good. You know how you have one of those days or a few days where you just feel high off of life. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you just I can't really describe the feeling, man. It's like a natural high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just feel blessed and like everything going good for you, right? I was in one of those moods, right? So it was on my heart, on my spirit to like send a text message, a positive text message to all of the sisters. I did it was in my phone, so I just started individually sending positive text messages to the sisters and telling them have a great day. You know what I'm saying? And whatever they going through might, I'm saying, get better, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, right? But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
every one of the girls, every last one of them, sent me a text message back and said, "Thank you so much. I need to hear that. Oh, thank you for the positive vibes, blah blah blah." Right? And shout out to my sister Brown Sugar Tay Tay. Tay Tay always sending me positive vibes. She ain't never ever
Should
sent me nothing negative. Um, but then
salute
it
to
was
Tay Tay.
yes indeed, and but it was this one chick that was in my phone, bro. When and I sent her the message. She's the only one who called me and started talking about some old negative BS about some drama, and I'm like, I just, well, I don't understand. Like I just literally just told you have a blessed day and this and that, and then you find a way. I said, okay, she one of these chicks that want to be miserable. She want to be. Some people are just miserable and they want to be miserable. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want nothing. They don't want. They'll reject anything that can make them happy. They're gonna reject it, bro. Some people just want to be miserable. So that is what it is. You can't do nothing about that. You just gotta get away from people like that and cut them people out of your life. Even if they family, if they miserable and they want to be miserable, then you gotta get away from them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're not lying. And salute to brother Jay Good. I see him in the chat.
What's happening,
And
Jay?
and Grown Soul said, I'm terrified for my children's future relationships. We might have to start arranging LDBC marriages of our baby.
Hey, no,
That,
that's fact, bro.
man, that's big facts there,
That's facts.
and like the general was saying, I'm big on positive energy, and you want like-minded, you want to be around like-minded people. So hey, he's saying that, man. That's big facts there, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's me and my homeboy Yusuf came up with that idea years ago with his son and my daughter and stuff. And like I said, I ain't gonna force my daughter to marry nobody, but I'm gonna encourage it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
make sure I'm gonna try to push her in that direction. You know what I'm saying? And as long as he is, because I know how he's raised, I know what stock he come from. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's scary nowadays, man. When you got kids, you don't know what's what, man. These girls is out here setting dudes up, and then you got your daughters, man, and they girls, they gonna like boys, so I mean whatever. But these knuckleheads out here, as a man, you've been a teenager before, so you know what they up to, and you know what's the most important thing on their mind. So, but trying to you gotta explain that to your daughters. A lot of people uncomfortable talking to their daughters. Man, look, I tell my daughter what it is. You know what I'm saying? I told my daughter what it is, what these dudes is up to, and you gotta just make sure. And the fathers, you gotta. I know it's uncomfortable, but you gotta talk to your daughters about it, man, because you the best person to teach them. The mamas, bro, you can't rely on the mamas to teach them shit, man. Not about that, because just in my opinion, bro, a lot of mothers are secretly jealous of their daughters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying all of them, but there's a lot of mamas out there that's secretly jealous of their daughters.
Oh, I know you ain't lying because I dated some.
You know what I'm saying? And they and
Yeah.
they try to sabotage their own daughters. I didn't seen it. I didn't seen it. I didn't seen it. I didn't seen women who you wouldn't even think was on that type of time. Some of them in my family, I didn't seen them try to sabotage their own daughters, like giving them bad advice and all that kind of stuff, man. I was in the house one time with my female cousins, and I remember my youngest, well, not my youngest, but one of my younger cousins. She she was like talking about. I think she at the time she might have been like 15 or something, but she was talking about uh, a boyfriend or something she had, and I think the dude was her boyfriend or whatever, or she was thinking about dating him or something. So I'm sitting here listening to all these grown ass women talk to her and giving her horrible advice, talking about girl. So what? Listen, look, what he got? How much money he got? He ain't bought you nothing yet? Oh, he need to be. You look. You don't call nobody your boyfriend until he buy you something. He gotta be taking you places. Every time he come see you, he need to come with bearing gifts. He need to have some money. He need to be giving you some buying you some shoes or something. And he need to be doing. I'm like, I said, don't be listening to these. They don't know. Listen, mind you, ain't nobody, none of these women in this house giving you this advice. Ain't none of them married, and only one of them have ever been married. All right.
Mm.
So if you're gonna listen to anybody, listen to me. You know what I'm saying? And of course, they got mad at me for that. Oh, what the hell that mean? You sexist. You a sexist. I'm a sexist. All
That
right.
ain't got nothing to do being sexist.
Right.
That was the truth right there. That's all. That was the truth.
And you brought up a valid point in terms of our show topic for the day, and that was one thing Jeff St. James talked about. He was saying, the reason why a lot of these women, make bad relationship decisions. Of course, you added an extra great additional point from the standpoint of, you got a lot of women steering these women in the wrong direction, and I've even seen it, like Jared was saying, I've seen it in my own personal life where, single women keep women single because they give them women get the worst and worst relationship advice in most instances, and they give terrible advice. You know what I'm saying? But one thing he was saying too, like back in the gap, you had fathers and uncles and brothers and men vetting the men that you date nowadays. Whereas nowadays, it's all about feelings, it's all about emotion. This guy look good, even though he talked to 5, 10 other chicks. You know what I'm saying? He look good and he's sexy and he make me feel a certain way. That's why a lot of these chicks perpetually make terrible relationship decisions. You know what I'm saying? In general, one thing too, you talked about your daughters. Like, what advice did you give your son? And as a father, are you more concerned with your daughters, or you think parents should be equally concerned about both their sons and daughters in 2025?
Well, you gotta be equally
Good question.
concerned. Yeah, you gotta be equally concerned. But like, it's easier uh, for me to talk to my son about sex and stuff like that. I talk to my daughters too, but it's harder to talk to them because you gotta be careful with your words, and I want to make sure I'm not, you know what I'm saying, being vulgar or nothing. But with my son, I could talk to him how I talk to y'all, like, you
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I can just tell him like, look, man, no, stay away from her. That broad, she doing this and that, and blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And like, I made my son get a DNA test for my grandson because he was on some old sucker stuff talking about some. Nah, pop, she wouldn't do that. I mean, man, don't tell me what a bitch would do, man. Don't you ever in your life tell me what a chick won't do. You was raised better than that. Don't ever tell me what a chick won't do. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I said, no, you finna get a DNA test. Before we start investing and loving and all that stuff on this baby, we got to make sure. It's better to get your feelings hurt now than to get 10 years from now. Because then you're going to want, once you raise the baby, you're going to always look
Be
at that as
attached.
your son.
Yeah, be attached.
Yeah. So you got to know now. So, um, we went and snuck and got a DNA test, you know what I'm saying, and just to make sure and everything was legit. So, but it's easier to talk to your son about it, you know what I mean? But with your son, you gotta be more worried about you gotta be more worried about the streets. You gotta be more. Well, at least with me, I'm more worried about the streets. I'm more worried about racist cops, that kind of thing. Um,
Right.
you know, with my daughters, you gotta worry about um, their choices in men. You got to worry about them getting pregnant. You got to worry about creepazoid dudes out here. You know what I'm saying? And like that's like a terrifying thing, man. Like, and I know sometimes I be paranoid and stuff. It's only because the stuff I done seen in the streets before, and I know how this world is. We live in a sick society, but some people don't know how sick this society is because they live in a sheltered world with their hands up over their ears, like la 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 la. I don't want to hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Hmm.
want. They don't want to see no evil, hear no evil, or speak no evil. But it's out here. So with your daughters, you gotta be worried about shit. Them taking the trash out of some creepy ass dude snatching them up, some dude from Guadalajara somewhere. know what I'm saying? When some dude and just grabbed them or something, and then, you, I be worried about stuff like that, man, because whenever I see a news report, and it happens a lot in Milwaukee, when I see a news report of the police discover some kids in the basement, some woman been locked up in somebody's house for 5 6 years, you got like, man, bro, I know her parents and her people are so happy to see her, but man, as a father, bro, I don't. That's I don't. As a father, bro, nah, I can't. That's something I can't do. I know my limitations as a man. I'm a strong dude. I can emotionally take a lot of stuff, and I can hide and mask my emotions and take my stresses out through other things, right? But with my kids, somebody messing with my kids, I'm just plain old nigga, bro. I kill everybody about my kids, and I ain't gonna make no apologies about it either.
As you should. As you should. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Going with Soul said, all facts, General. I've messed around with women whose mama will be dirty macking their daughter just to try to get me to slide their jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting behavior. Damn.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, 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 man. But we gonna go ahead. Man, great conversation, fellas.
Oh man, this was a real good cook today, man.
Good
Yes, sir.
conversation,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Man, and before we get out of here, just wanna promote my brother Joseph Townsend, Bourbon Company,
Yes,
um,
sir.
Old Hillside Bourbon Company. I bought me a bottle. Had Pops try it. He loved it. And I'm not even a drinker, but I had a little taste myself, and I liked it. I liked it, and so y'all, even if you don't drink, get it for that aunt, uncle, or cousin who do like to keep some around the house, man. Get a bottle, and they also do whiskey. So and cigar, they do cigar covered um, whiskey or bourbon. So they got good stuff over there. I dropped the link in the chat. So yeah, y'all, man, please support this brother, man. It will be the official drink of the LDBC meet and greet. Whoever's
Yes, sir.
attending
Next
um,
weekend, next Saturday, y'all.
next Saturday. Unfortunately, I will not be attending, but I'm still going
Yeah,
to support.
yeah. I won't be able to be in attendance either. Life has been life,
Yes,
but all
Lord.
is well. And if the Lord says the same, I'll definitely be there next year. And because the two times I've been, it's been like positive energy, beautiful atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, like going to a Southern University home game and seeing all these black people and positive stuff going. Major shout out, to the general for being a visionary.
Good
Major shout out
example.
to
That's what it feels like being at a HBCU environment. Everybody eating and talking. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and so major shout out to the general. I want to give him his flowers for being a visionary. Major shout out to Junior the Troop. Him and Queen 71 did a excellent job last year putting together the event. Too bad I couldn't be there, with my videography team coming through. But, major shout out to Junior Troop because, when we went to the first meet and greet in Dallas, and you and I, we was over there talking, with Jay Good and Brent Fox and Mary Campbell and Big Snack Pack and everybody
Hmm.
in the corner, and we forgot to exchange numbers. The Punch Junkie app, we was able to communicate through that and exchange information and get the Southern Baller Show like off the ground and up and running.
Yes,
So
sir.
major shout out to the Junior the Troop and just we now be in attendance next weekend, but we want to send our love in advance and
Yes, sir.
if we could, we might try to link up something where we could go live and maybe get one of the members of the collective, like Brent Fox or Joseph Townsend, somebody, that could stream live, while we on this side. So, we might try to do something, but, make the shout out to the LDBC, you did.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, man. And I want to say this too, man. Man, it's always a beautiful festivities when we had a meet and greet, man. And so we're gonna be in Vegas this year, next weekend, and then next year we're gonna go out East Coast. We're gonna go to New York, because a lot of our New York family, they always pulling up on us, and they gotta do a lot of traveling, man. So we want to make it easy on them So 2026 is gonna be New York. 2027, New Orleans. Here we come.
All
New
right.
Orleans.
Woo! You know I'm already in the building today.
Yes, sir.
In the building. New Orleans.
I definitely got to
Ooh.
make the New Orleans one.
Oh man. Hey. In fact, yeah, hey. Man, me and Queen will have to get together. I'm definitely gonna be in on that one there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
man.
And
Yes, sir.
y'all can
So,
get y'all tickets,
um,
LDBC tickets, man, on 78 Sports TV Patreon.com. You can buy your tickets there. The link is the first link when you go to his channel on 78 Sports TV and on the Patreon. I think he has also dropped the link on some of his videos, and you
yeah,
can correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah. I think I'm gonna put the link in the chat right now.
All right.
Let me grab it real quick. Take me 1 second. Yeah, I dropped it. I dropped the link several times. But this thing, man. I don't know why this thing always do this, man. It'd be hard for me to Here we go. Okay. Yeah, man. But when we go to New York, I'm gonna get Drew or some of the New York brothers and sisters to help me organize it. When we go to New Orleans, I'm gonna need y'all brothers. I'm gonna need your help, brother coach.
Oh yeah. Well, you know that's in my neck of the woods. So you know maybe me and Cadillac Red or whatever. You know we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
get together. You know I got family in New Orleans. Family that's from New Orleans. So you know that's my neck of the woods. So you know I'm definitely gonna be in on it. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
Yes, sir. And there's the link right there, y'all. 78 Sports TV. So when you rewatch this, make sure y'all go to this link. I'll keep the live stream up. So when y'all replay this video or rewatch it or catch the replay, there you go. Get your tickets before it get too late. But any final words you want to say before we get out of here, General?
No, man, just appreciate it. It was a real good cook today, man. I enjoyed talking to my people, man. Brothers with some grown man energy and common sense stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? This was a good conversation, man. So hopefully the people watching enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all again the next time we run it back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my brother, Coach 67 Sports TV. What you got, man?
Well, you know this was a excellent show this morning, and you know I just want kind of you know give some context about the importance of you know family, about community, about togetherness. Like last weekend, I went to two funerals. You know, on Friday it was like you know a distant relative or whatever the case may be, and I hadn't you know there were family members that I hadn't seen like in years. And the
Hmm.
previous time I went to the previous time I saw him was at another funeral for another family member. You know what I'm saying? But it was just good to see them, good to embrace them, you know, that sort of thing, whatever the case may be. You know, the family member, him and his wife had been married for 64 years. You know what I'm saying? And then the next day on Saturday, it was like literally like a week ago to the day around this time. And we went, you know, he's from, you know, my area, and he lived in a you know in an area not too far from here. And when we turned on the street, like the street was so crowded, bro. Like you know, traffic was it was congested. You know, it was difficult to get in the church. You know, it kind of reminded me when senior passed, and like literally, like all the pews were full. The entire choir section was full. Like all of the seats down the center aisle was full. People standing all along the walls. You know what I'm saying? And they were telling stories about him, this, that, and the third. Because you know, I hate when you go to funerals and this person was like a scumbag piece of trash, and they talk like they were the greatest person on earth. No, they you know they told mostly good stories and positive stories, but they kept it real too, though. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was just you know he had 3 kids and his wife, you know, that was like his second marriage. And, you know, he had 13 grandkids, no, 14 grandkids, 13 great grandkids. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, it just kind of made me think like, hey, you know, I know I'm a little bit older than 45, but, you know, I want a family of my own, you know, like the general say all the time, like in 2025, the dopest thing you could do as a black man is have, you know, a nuclear family. But just that event and just seeing the outpouring of love and all of these people gathered for this man, he left a legacy, and that's what I want to do. And I think that's why we need to get back to the importance of community, because at that funeral, it wasn't just his kids and his grandkids, his great grandkids. There's a lot of community that was involved, and in addition to the community, like, he left a legacy. In fact, he raised people that wasn't even his biological children. He had a lot of de facto godchildren and children that people that was actually his godchildren, and just seeing that outpouring of love and support, like, that's the kind of legacy I want to leave when they put me in front of a church and then put me in the ground. That's what I want to leave. And I think we need to get back as a Black community, restoring the Black nuclear family. But in addition to that, we need to get back to being a community and loving one another. And, I'm not gonna lie, I love Black people, but I can't stand ninjas. So, we need to get rid of the ninjas in our community, and we just need to get back to sticking together and Black unity, Black togetherness, and being on one accord. Forget all of these Willie Lynch and COINTELPRO tactics, the Black man against the Black woman, and the FBAs against the tellers, all that stupid nonsense. Black diaspora, we need to be unified. We need to be on one accord. You know what I'm saying? And for all those individuals that want to rock with my channel, you can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV. Man, we enjoyed this, this show. It was excellent. It's beautiful. Man, y'all rock out with us, you dig. We appreciate everybody that came through and showed love. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And thank you for them final words, Coach. And salute to Anthony Bolton, Memphis, man. But this was another installment of I'm about to say Southern Bottom Show, the Black Man's Perspective.
No, I'm glad you said that, bro. I'm glad you said it. Hey, of course, go catch the General on all his platforms, the No 304 Show, 7 Sports TV,
yes,
Patreon. Man, y'all go rock with my brother, the General. Man, y'all go over there and show him some love. We need to grow his platform, because anyway in the hell, he shouldn't have hit 100K by now. We know YouTube can put like a little ceiling on him, but we still rocking with him. He's still a visionary, still a general. So y'all go rock with him and all his endeavors, all his YouTube. Like I say, 7 Sports TV, No 304 Show, and his Patreon tomorrow here on my brother channel, Jared 11 Green, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Southern Baller Show. Y'all come back. We're gonna talk about Coach Prime and his little health issues. We're gonna talk about Michael Parsons and the Dallas Cowgirls and Jerry Jones trying to be a circus master, a ringleader, whatever. So y'all come over and rock with us again tomorrow, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Peace and blessings to everybody. You dig?
All right. And this was a good installment of the Black Man's Perspective. Y'all be blessed, man.
All right, peace, brothers.
Man, peace.